Welcome to skipjeffries.com. This is Skip Jeffries. Just doing a quick launch here. Try to keep it simple. Looking at doing a little spicy noodle action for a meal here. So we got the packets. Some of these things are different. Some of them got like 3-4 packets. This one here, I think it's just got 3. Get some lovely water going here. Just enough to kind of cover your noodles a little bit. You don't want crunchy noodles. Well, some people might like crunchy noodles, but go ahead and put that in the microwave for about 4 minutes. And while that's cooking, we'll go ahead and start on the rest of this stuff here. Figure out what some of this is easy out. Oh, it's vegetable oil. And veggie mix. Since we're getting, we'll go ahead and add that to it too. Maybe. At least not want not. Restart that. I'm going to go ahead and cut up some veggies here. I like having kind of almost like a stir-fry type action. So I've got just some leftover veggies from other meals here that we have on hand. And we'll go ahead and use up all these onions. I like to add some onions, carrots, whatever kind of stuff you have in the fridge that'll go good with the spicy noodles. I mean, you can't go wrong with onions. Let's see if I can get a bowl here. I mean, I'm not fine dicing these things up, just enough to go into a simple ramen noodle salad. Try to not keep it too fancy. We got some green onions here. We won't go too crazy with the onions. These are pretty well cut up already. I like to have them a little bit finer, I guess. Not too fine, but you don't want a big old onion when you're eating stuff. At least that's my preference. I mean, I like it in there. I just don't like them huge. And I love carrots, and they're my preference of choice is Juliet carrots, but last couple of weeks the store hasn't had any of those in stock. So I mean, easiest way I found is just some baby carrots that you kind of dice up real nice and easy. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be that fine because they will soften in the mixture. I mean, I like them a little crunchy anyways, is my preference. I mean, like I said, there's no set amount. I mean, you add what you feel is necessary here. And like I said, it's just a quick and easy launch here. I don't try to put too great a detail into it. I mean, turns out it turns out. If not, you just throw it away. It's a ramen noodle soup mix. But I mean, I've watched quite a different videos on how people spice things up. I mean, have I tried them? Some of them. I mean, I get a little creative when it comes to the sauce that I mix with it, and I'll show you what I do. But to me, that's all your preference. If you like it real spicy, then you like it real spicy. Me, myself, I like it somewhat spicy. I mean, just enough to make you sweat a little bit and clear out your nasal passages is pretty good. I guess the key with dicing up vegetables is not to cut your fingers. So just be mindful of where your knife is at in regards to where your fingers and fingertips are going. But yeah, I think that'll do it for carrots. We don't want to get too crazy with it. like to add some mushrooms too. More the merrier. I usually dice them in half and then kind of slice them. Just enough to get her going. Our noodles are done. We're going to let those soak in the microwave for another 4 minutes. That's just to get them nice and soft. A while back I picked up this Spam here. It's kind of a Korean barbecue type blend. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably only use half of it, if that, maybe even a quarter of it. I don't know. We'll see how it chops up. But I usually try to add a protein to this. Normally it's chicken is my meat of choice when it comes to the hot spicy noodles. Yeah, don't let this freak you out. Spam's always a little slimy. Come on. Not coming out of there. There we go. Save that for recycling. Like I said, I think I'm only going to probably use a little portion of it and put the rest in the fridge for another meal. You know, I'm not a big fan of Spam. I've got it. I had it for a while there. I was going to use it for something special, but versus taking, and I didn't take out any chicken this week, and it's Monday morning, so I mean, this is the less amount of meal prep that I can do for a meal here. Quick and easy. We'll just kind of slice it up, then we'll dice it into chunks, I think. Like I said, I'm not no pro chef or anything. Never been to any kind of culinary school. Just like kind of mixing stuff together here. I'll go ahead and add that to the pan. Normally I like to let that simmer, but I've got a sauce I've got to create here, so I'll go ahead and get all that stuff together. Normally what I put in mine, I've got this, I guess they call it like a goat chew sauce. Picked it up from the Asian store here in Tulsa. Garlic's a big ingredient that goes in there. I like to add a little bit of rice vinegar. And of course you got to have the soy sauce. A little bit of ginger. Some fish sauce. And some sesame seed oil. Go ahead and get myself a little bowl or a mixing cup. We'll see if we got one in here. Ooh. This will work. It's all what you feel comfortable using. I need a tablespoon anyways. Depending on your spice level, it's probably the amount of go-to that you want put in there. Like I said, I like mine kind of where it makes you sweat a little bit, so that was a pretty good, healthy tablespoon, I would guess. And then for the rest of this, I normally like, this here is a tablespoon here, so you don't want it too liquidy, but you don't want it too clumpy either. You want it to meld with your noodles. So I usually like to do 2 tablespoons of the soy sauce. Usually try to keep it consistent. It's probably about a tablespoon of the sesame oil. And then the fish oil, that's all your preference too. I mean, I like to do probably about a half a teaspoon because that stuff gets pretty strong. The vinegar, I'll go a full teaspoon with it. There isn't much left in this ginger, so I'm just going to go ahead and add what I can out of this tube. Then usually I like a lot of garlic in my stuff. My wife kind of complains sometimes, but to me it kind of keeps you healthy. I think it's supposed to be kind of heart healthy anyways. I usually do about a tablespoon in there, and then we just kind of combine all this stuff together as best you can. Well, it sounds like my noodles are pretty much done, but I'll leave them in until I'm ready for them. And the consistency of the sauce is somewhat thick, but it's the consistency I'm pretty happy with, so we're going to go with that. Wash my hands here. Especially when you touch that gochu sauce, man, that stuff, you get that in your eyes, it'll burn. I'm going to move everything over to the stove here and we'll continue. Go ahead, turn on the stove here. It's Spam, and Spam's somewhat pretty fatty, so I'm not too worried about adding any oil in right now. But I like to get the Spam going. I don't know, some people like to eat it as is, cold. It says on the can, but there is no way. I don't think I could eat Spam cold. And we'll just kind of let that sizzle for a little bit, and then we'll add in our other ingredients. And normally your stovetop setting is your preference. I mean, I usually go between a 3 and a 4 on my knob here. I've got a gas stove, so we've had this stove for a couple years. The stove that we had before this was also a gas stove, so we've been cooking with gas for quite a long time. I get all my ingredients somewhat nearby here, so we can just continue to add. Take a look at the noodles. I think they've rested quite a bit, along with the veggies that are in it. We'll go ahead and drain. I like to keep some of the pasta oil in it, just because it thickens up the sauce. These seems like they're almost like an udon noodle, a little bit different. I like to kind of mix it up so it loosens up. No matter how much water you put in there, it never seems to be enough. There's always that little bit of crunchy layer up on top. It'll take care of itself. We'll go ahead and let that sit. And Spam, I guess, is supposed to be already cooked, so I kind of like it crunchy, or a little bit crunchy, or somewhat crunchy. Seems to taste better that way for me. But a lot of it is just a waiting game now. I can go ahead and put away some of my stuff here. The side note on Spam, I was doing some, I guess, late night internet search for kind of like content stuff for dehydrating, because I want to do a couple more videos on that. But I guess there's people that have dehydrated Spam to a consistency of like jerky. I guess that wouldn't be too bad. I don't know. I've been debating on trying it. I've got this Korean flavored, barbecue flavored Spam here. Probably be worth a shot. I mean, I love the Korean barbecue jerky that they sell in the store, so might be worth it. Sit and think about it a couple more days, and I'll probably end up pulling out the dehydrator and be doing something, whether it be the Spam or some kind of other thing that we figured out on it. We've been talking about doing some fruit roll-ups, but normally I like doing that kind of stuff when my granddaughter's around, because I don't think I would eat enough of it to make it worthwhile cooking. But it gets her involved. She kind of likes to do experiments and cook, and she's 6 years old, so she enjoys that kind of stuff. she's getting to the age where she wants to be more independent, and she's always asking if she can do it. And when she's up here, we try to let her do what she can, with the interest of safety being in mind. Yeah, we'll go ahead and just let this Spam kind of char up a little bit. Like I said, I kind of like Spam. To me, tastes best when it's got a little bit of a crunchy coating on it. Next, I'll probably end up adding in the veggies and the sauce. Yeah, I like spicy noodles. I usually buy, I think they sell them like the 6-pack. I prefer the bone broth one. They just happen to not have any at the Walmart that we went shopping at, and picked up that off-brand with the udon noodle one on it just to give her a try. So hopefully this won't disappoint. And normally, if it's just me eating, usually this is about 2 meals. I've been cutting back, especially with the carbs or with the noodles. I think you're talking about like 78 carbs per serving. So I try to keep my carbs down right around 40 to 50, no more than 50, and definitely below 60 per meal. And I mean, we're not like a zero carb type people. I mean, you tell by the meal I'm cooking today, but I'm kind of carb conscious, kind of watch what we put in there. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty well browned up. I'm going to go ahead and add the vegetables. Just stir them in. I mean, you could add more, add less, add different types. I mean, this is just what I had in the fridge, and that's normally the way this meal goes for me. Is I'll see what I have in the fridge for protein and veggies, and just kind of add them as I go. And I kind of just like to saute the vegetables up. Let those sit for a little bit. Seeing the consistency of our noodles is pretty good. I'm going to drain a little bit of this water. So I guess the little veggie packets looks like it's like maybe mushrooms and carrots. Sometimes they'll have a little bit of seaweed in them, but this brand here I guess is a little bit different. I don't have a real love for cooking. I do like to cook, but not to the point where it's crazy. I mean, I was a latchkey kid growing up, so I mean, we got home from school. It was just us kids until mom and dad got home from work. So sometimes we would cook our own meals. Mainly back then, you're talking like the late 90s or the early 90s, late 80s. We'd have the common staples of your macaroni and cheese. I think we did quite a bit. Hamburger helper, hot dogs, just kind of meals that you kind of think kids could put together, like sandwiches, a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And a lot of times it was maybe just even leftovers that we had from the weekend. I mean, both my mom and dad worked, and I think that was kind of common back then. I mean, even nowadays, very rarely do you have a family that can live off of one income. And both mom and dad have to work, so I mean that leaves the kids to be having to be kind of latchkey kids in an essence. I'm going to go ahead and add my noodles. And kind of steams everything up. Like I said, I like to leave a little bit of water in there. Just kind of incorporate everything together. Just give the sauce a quick mix, and we're just kind of drizzle the sauce over the top. This meal here I kind of learned from my son when he would come down for the summers when he was probably his late teens. He would always want spicy ramen noodles, and we just kind of added on to it throughout the years that he was down. I mean, we used to do a lot of chicken wings too, make our own sauces and our own spices for the different concoctions. But yeah, you do what you can when you're a single parent. I mean, we had joint custody. I normally got my son for the summers. My ex-wife kept him for the school year. And I mean, that just the ease of things. We didn't live in the same town or even the same state at the time. When we first got separated, I got orders to North Dakota and she was in Missouri, so that just wasn't an option. It would have been nice to see him on a pretty regular basis, but I mean, you do what you can. And we had a pretty good parenting plan I mean, I think the key to a parenting plan too is being flexible. And I mean, especially if one of the members is military, I mean, you've got to have some flexibility in it. I guess I could add the spice packet. That might be a little dangerous. We'll see. That's normally where the spice gets hot. Forgot about that. Let that thicken up. Yeah, I kind of went video crazy last week. Did a bunch of filming, and then I decided later on to do some editing. So, been trying out different stuff, a new editing program. So we'll see if that works out. Had a recommendation from my sister-in-law. She said, "Yeah, I needed to try this program," and I did it on one of the videos this weekend, and it was phenomenal. So I'll probably stick with that. Picked up a new camera, so hopefully we'll have a better picture. And a microphone I've had for a while, so I was glad that it was able to hook to a camera. So I mean, that's the hardest thing is actually getting audio with a lot of stuff that you do, especially if you're outside. So we're going to turn it down a little bit and just kind of let it simmer up and kind of cook in its own spices. But pretty much that is it. I mean, doesn't look fancy, but it's pretty good. I mean, it gives me 2 meals. Now we'll go ahead and serve it up here. Looks a little spicy, but no, I mean, that powder in there, I guess, turns everything a little bit darker color. I mean, looks pretty good. Give it the old chopstick test. Not bad. I'd say that's a winner. But thank you guys for watching.